Job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, isn't it?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air on a Friday here in the Quad Cities. We've officially reached the end of the week, and of course, it's Easter weekend. Everyone is excited about that, and I'm a good Catholic boy, so I'm excited about Easter, but just as important, I don't want to say more importantly, but just as important, it's also Wrestlemania Weekend. So we are going to spend the next hour or so chatting about the biggest event in professional wrestling of the year. And I had to call upon my panel of experts. So I will bring these fellas in right now. I didn't know Bully was going to put on the sunglasses. So we have the one and only Nick Bull. We have Don Umland. And then right below me, we have the one and where he belongs beneath me is our good friend Tom Kakert as well. Fellas, it's Wrestlemania Weekend. That's big time.
Woo!
Oh, tell me.
Yeah, it's here. It's here.
Yeah. And before we get going, we're going to go down the card on Saturday, and then we're going to go to Sunday after a break and all that kind of stuff. Don, I guess I'll start with you because it is like Christmas for wrestling fans. It's the biggest weekend of the year. I love the fact that they moved it to 2 days. I used to, like, when they first did it, I was like, man, I don't know. But it became a 7-8 hour marathon. The 2 nights are perfect. Just when it comes to WrestleMania, what pops into your head, Donnie?
Oh, man, that's such a loaded question. I mean, you growing up with the Attitude Era and Tripp's going in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's big. I guess Undertaker pops into my mind because of his great matches he's had at WrestleMania that we'll never forget, and the streak and all that. That's the first thing that pops in my head. So
yeah, Bully.
We'll go with that.
What comes to your mind when you think WrestleMania? And also, for people who don't know, Bully hosts a wrestling podcast, Card Subject to Change. Loves himself some wrestling. What comes to your mind when you think WrestleMania Weekend?
I just think of the whole grandeur of it. It's a spectacle. The big entrances, the long walkway, just the pageantry of it. That's what I think of. Like it's just epic. It's big. With the last couple Manias, I think they've been hitting on all cylinders, and it just feels like this one's got a good build too. There's a lot of good stuff on this card, so just excitement on a grand level.
It hasn't disappointed in a while, Tommy. Your thoughts too, because I think last year was as good as they get, and you go down the line and they always deliver. WrestleMania, they're not going to disappoint. Sometimes a wrestling pay-per-view or a live event will disappoint a little bit. WrestleMania is not going to disappoint.
Yeah, even last year with the kind of the main card evolving over a short period of time, it still delivered. And it was still great with Cody going over and winning the title and finishing his story, if you will. And I think this year is going to be just as cool with John Cena coming back and that storyline with Cody and you've got arguably 3 of the biggest names in wrestling for the main card with Roman and Seth and Punk on Saturday night too.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. We'll start with Saturday. Saturday is going to be tougher for me to watch than Sunday, but I'm going to figure out Saturday as we go. I guess I'm gonna name the matches. I won't even do that. I think you guys know them. So, what match, Don, do you think comes first? That's the big thing. The main event is always the big thing. You want that spot, or you also want to be the first match. That's usually how you bookend it. What do you see I don't know if they've announced it. Anybody can tell me if they have, but I don't know if they have yet. What would you go with the first match, Don?
If I'm got the pin, I'm putting Uzo and Gunther out there first and let them just geek it, yeet it up. I mean, that place is going to frickin' explode. And I don't know if you're going to if you can't be last, you want to be first. And that's the match to kick it off in my mind.
Bully, you're shaking your head. I think you agree.
100%.
100% agree. As much as that match pains me because I love Gunther, I absolutely love him. I just think that it's just guaranteed that Jey Uso is going to win. Now, I got nothing against Jey Uso. I just don't think he's world championship material. That's my stigma with him. I just don't think he can go out there and have great matches night after night after night like you have to when you're champion.
Are we chasing a moment instead of a? Do you know what
Absolutely,
I mean? And I know, Don, you're going to get cranky here, but the Yes movement was great, and to get everybody that and Bryan Daniel, is he still doing it? He's not doing it anymore in that little organization that you like to watch, AEW. I don't think he's still doing that.
Off and on. He's retired. He is officially retired.
Yeah. But they're chasing a moment, aren't they, Don, more than anything else? And I think they're going to give it. You have to deliver it, but they're chasing a moment, correct?
Absolutely. And I don't want to jump the gun because I think this all leads roads where he's going to defend it at SummerSlam and lose it to a selected individual that I won't name yet because I don't want to tip my hand. But I think he's got a main eventer at SummerSlam against a certain guy that's also wrestling on Saturday night.
Tommy, convince me that Gunther's going to win. Can you? Or is this like the payoff of all payoffs and it's just enjoy the ride?
You want that crowd getting fired up and yeeting all over the place for about 15 minutes right out of the gate. That's what you want out of WrestleMania. You're going to get that crowd going at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, and they're going to go crazy. And Jey Uso is going to yeet his way off that stage, and probably with his brother around him. I would imagine that Jimmy's going to be around there somewhere, and I think it'll be cool moment. That's the way you open the biggest show in sports entertainment.
Yeah, if you can't have that as the go away, at the end of the night with everybody eating, then you have it at the beginning. I think it's obviously unanimous that Jay gets it done. I do tend to agree a little bit with Bully. I mean, it's not a crazy take that, I love Big E, but it was about the chase for Big E. It's harder to be a champion than it is to get to be a champion. So the jury's still out, Bully, I think, on whether what he can do with that title reign, but I think he's going to get a shot.
Yeah, he's earned it. There's no doubt that he's absolutely earned it. It's just me as a fan watching, I'm just not a big fan of his matches. That's not to say that he's not going to blow it out of the park. I hope he knocks it out of the park. I really do. I hope he goes out there and has a great match with Gunther. And I hope he goes on to have a successful title run. I really do, because he's no doubt got a connection with the audience, right? That's the most important thing, is making money and having a connection at that level of professional wrestling. So he's got that connection. You can't deny that. And I think the big payoff will be, obviously his entrance. I mean, I don't even start Mania with a video tribute. I just start Mania, boom, him coming in. That's how you do it. I think that's just get it going and get the excitement pumping.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. And I also wonder how I like Gunther as well, but I wonder how much or where he goes after this. I don't know, and I guess it's a different topic for a different time. But I'd like to look back at if he is done on Saturday, how his title reign will be remembered right now. Was it a successful one? Was it average? I don't think it was bad. But I'm just curious on where that reigns. I do like Gunther a lot, and I think he's got a great career ahead of him as well. Jade and Naomi, is anybody excited about that match? And then if you are, just raise your hand and sell me on it, because I'm not there yet.
Just put that match number 2 behind Uzo and Gunther, and let's get it done and move on. Because everybody's going to need
Exactly.
a bathroom break or whatever, and just that's where it's probably got to be.
Tommy, you agree?
That cover it?
I think so. Yeah, I think we all know what's coming with that match. I mean, I think Jade's probably gonna, win that one and probably destroy Naomi with her caution tape on, and I think that'll be it.
Yep, Billy, you agree with who wins? I don't know if you're too excited about it, but you're probably grabbing a different beverage.
I think it's gonna be a 6-minute. They beat the crap out of each other match. To me, it's a pick 'em, but I'll go with Naomi pulling out a win somehow.
Don?
Hey, Bully, do you think Bianca makes an appearance in that match in some capacity? Is there a reason for her to make an appearance?
No,
okay.
There's no reason. There's no reason, Don.
Let me agree with you.
Sides in it.
Don, let me agree with you, because I do think she's in the middle of it, and her match isn't until the next night, so it's not like she's not back getting ready. She's totally interested in it. The whole thing is about betraying her and who she was friends with, and the three of them together. You absolutely see her at some point during the match, in my opinion.
I think that's the one thing that could spice the match up a little bit. So we'll see.
That's fair.
Who do you got winning, Don? Tom's got Jade. Bully's got Naomi. You have.
I think it's a pick 'em, like Bully said, but I think Naomi sneaks a. Oh man, you got Cargo returning. I think Naomi could sneak it out in some way because Bianca affects it somehow.
Yeah,
that'll be my guess.
I don't think you bring Jade back and have her lose in her first match at a pay-per-view. So you have to, if you're going to invest in that young lady, you have to go Jade. I'll go Jade, but again, like I'm with you guys, just keep it to 6 to 8 minutes and get me on my way to the next one. The tag team titles will be on the line on WrestleMania Saturday. The War Raiders, I got to be careful, I don't call them the Viking Raiders. The War Raiders versus the New Day. Both of them completely different. Not completely, but obviously the War Raiders taking the Vikings out, a little bit newer, fresher gimmick, and then obviously the New Day is completely different. Tommy, have you taken to the New Day, the New Day, if that makes sense? The heel New Day? Is this something you've liked so far?
Yeah, I think they've been interesting. I wish we would see our friend Big E on there a little bit, and maybe he factors in this weekend. But I put it on New Day. I'd give them the title. I think they win this one. I think they're more interesting. With all due respect to the Raiders or whatever we're calling them these days, it's just not that interesting. So put on the New Day, and then maybe bring up. Some of the like Nathan Frazier and Axiom or something from NXT and have them go against the New Day. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Bully, you're shaking your head. Do you see new champions?
I do. I think this New Day heel turn has got to have a payoff, and this would be it. This keeps them relevant. This keeps them seen. They're the tag team champions. They can have a back and forth. With the War Raiders, are they the War Bikers? They dress more like bikers than I think Vikings or Raiders, but regardless of what they are, the big bearded guys, I think somehow come up short, and we have new tag champs on the Raw side of things.
There's nothing wrong with big bearded guys either, Bully. Don't
sell
yourself short. Don,
I totally agree.
Tommy mentioned Big E. Do we see Big E on the biggest stage of them all? You haven't seen him since besides his announcer duties or whatever, but you haven't seen him since he walked away, destroyed by the New Day and everything like that. Do we see him at WrestleMania? Is that when he returns?
100% yes, in some appearance. Just a matter if he helps or not. But like Bully said, you've got to get the payoff here. And that's kind of like with Jimmy. You don't invest in this much story without having a payoff to have Jimmy win, because that's wasting this whole storyline. Because where does he go if he loses? I mean, he's got to win. But I think the War Raiders going to have another day to fight. New Day's got an interesting storyline because they said they want to break records, and they were kind of like, okay, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. So here we are.
Right.
So I'm going to agree that like you have to give the championships to make it worth its while. So far, guys, we have 3 matches. We are all in agreement on 2 of them. And the other match, we just want it to be short. We split, but we just wanted to get over with. So hopefully some debate happens with, and I think it will. You got Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. Obviously, LA Knight's very over. Guys, Jacob Fatu is over as they get as well. Solo Sikoa is not involved in a match right now at WrestleMania. He's got to play a part somehow. Don, I'll start with you. What do you see with Jacob Fatu and LA Knight? And LA has only had the title back for a little while. Do they take it away? Is it another short reign for him? Because the first one was pretty short as well.
I got Knight winning, and I think Solo, whether it's intentionally screws his brother or doesn't, something happens that keeps Fatu from winning. Because I don't think you can take it off LA Knight this fast. And he's hot right now. He's popular, but Fatu is as well. But Fatu, in my mind, doesn't need to be a champion right now, in my mind.
No, I kind of agree with that. Bully, your thoughts on what should be a good match?
I hate to say this because I don't think LA Knight's really gotten his fair run as one of the top guys yet. But if there is a squash match on this show, I'll hearken this back to WrestleMania 28 at Sun Life Stadium in Miami when Sheamus and Daniel Bryan opened the show, and it was like a 18-second. I can see Fatu going over really quick. I do like Don's line of thinking. You know, Solo's not on the card. He's got to get involved somehow, and I think he does in some way. But I just don't. I don't think they can Fatu anymore.
No, Tom, you kind of agreed. What your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think it's. I hate picking like all these title changes because you don't. There's no way there's going to be this many title changes right out of the
I
gate,
know,
but it just seems like Fatu is just he's a rocket, and you want to put the strap on him right now while he's hot. And I always think LA Knight's more interesting when he's chasing a belt than he is holding a belt. So I would probably agree that there's going to be a change, but again, I just don't think there's going to be that many changes. I mean, there might be one. We'll talk about the women's match in a little bit, but is there going to be a change there too? I don't know.
Don, you mentioned that LA Knight doesn't need a title. You mentioned Fatu. Yes. Does LA Knight need a title? I mean, his shtick is Mike. Go ahead.
I think he needs it right now for credibility, because if you take it off of him again, it's like, okay, but I need him to have some credibility to hold on. And Gunther's different because Gunther's going to win future titles. So if he loses, I think he's a world champion again because he's got the pedigree and the goods to be there. LA Knight's old, not that being older, but his timeline I think is a little shorter, and he's not quite the presence of Gunther. So I think they've got 2 different paths. So that's my take.
I'll say this: I think Fatu wins. I think Solo helps out Fatu, and I think it pisses Fatu off. That way you kind of you keep LA Knight clean a little bit. He didn't lose it fairly or anything like that. That feud goes, and I think Solo thinks he's helping, and when it comes around, he's actually hurting him, and that continues that feud towards SummerSlam.
So let's throw one other wrinkle into it. If Solo can come out for Fatu, can anybody come out for Knight?
I don't know who would.
Yeah, I can't think of who's been palling around with him lately.
Do you have something there, Don?
Well, Randy Orton was teaming with him as of just recently. Not that they're a team.
Yeah.
But would he really have an interest in being out there? There could be another guy.
Sami Zayn.
That's a good point. I think there's somebody that could be a surprise.
Okay.
There, possibly.
Well, and I'm going to talk here at the end of Saturday, the surprises. So I think, Don, you're on LA Knight, and then we're all on Fatu has to get this. I think the payoff has to. WrestleMania is about payoffs, and you want to make fans as happy as they possibly can. And I think this is one of them that they have to do. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Raise of hand. Who loves El Grande Americano? I love it.
Love it.
Love it. Tommy, Donnie, you don't like it?
I want to know how they're going to play out the reveal, at some point, and that's what I do like about what they've done. It's a nice wrinkle for Chad Gable. It really is. I'm on board with it too. I think it's cool. But who wins the match? I think El Grande probably wins the match.
You're smiling, really the bully, and here's the thing: is I think Chad Gable is so stinking talented. Like everything he goes to do, he's one of those guys that just works. He's a Kevin Owens type of guy where you can give him anything. You can say, "Hey, you're going to have a feud with Tom Kakert," and he's going to say, "Okay, I'm going to make that the best feud ever." I love it.
Now that's a bit of a stretch, now, isn't it? Come on.
Well,
go ahead, bully.
Daz, you took the words out of my mouth. I think he's the most underappreciated guy on the roster. Everything they've given him, he's knocked out of the park every time.
Yeah,
the whole Shorty G.
And who's the guy that 20 years has been doing it for 20 years ago? That's like the last name is M-I-Z. That love him or hate him, Miz has been. You put him into something, and he usually turns it into gold or something pretty good, polishes it up. Yeah. Chad Gable does the same thing.
Absolutely. I hope somehow there's a body switch and they pull off Grande Americans match, like maybe after the lights go out after the match, and it's not Gable, just to get the reaction. I think this thing has legs, the El Grande Americano thing. They could take this all the way to SummerSlam if they want.
Yeah.
I think it would go. So I'm picking El Grande Americano to win. I think this is going to be maybe the underrated match on this card, on the night one card. I think these guys are going to tear it down. This may be Ray's last WrestleMania too.
Bully, does that mean Sami Zayn can come back as his alter ego?
I'd be fine with that. You got to get him off of where is he at the he's in Mexico somewhere.
El Generico.
El Generico and American those two going at it at SummerSlam. Wouldn't that be a treat?
It's not a bad idea.
Great.
It'd be funny if Sami Zayn came out as El Generico and interfered in the match and cost the match to.
That would be. I mean, if I had a pin and it could be pulled off, that would be just great writing. But we'll see. I think it has a possibility.
Tommy, do you have are we agreeing again when it comes to who wins this thing? And it's El Grande Americano. I'm not a Rey Mysterio guy, by the way. I never really have been a huge Rey Mysterio guy. Don't hate him, but I've just never been a huge Rey guy. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Gable in his mask win.
Yep, I agree. So, two more for Saturday
with the steel plate, of course. With the steel plate.
Yeah. It's so well done. It's so well done. It's just, but I agree, Bully. I would love to see you figure out a way, because remember on Raw that week where like they thought for sure it was him, and then all of a sudden they saw somebody in back and it wasn't him, or he came up. However they did it, it'd be cool to figure out a way to keep this thing rolling. I think they will. I didn't care at Royal Rumble when it was, or the Monday after, whatever it was, when it was Tiffy and Charlotte Flair. Didn't do that much for me. It was fine. It was whatever. But the realism that's happened the last couple weeks has me. This might be the most intriguing match on the card on Saturday for me. Not my favorite one, but the most intriguing on what happens. I guess we'll start. Tom, did the realism help you, hurt you, the pot shots back and forth, or did it make that big of a difference?
It got me more interested in it just because they were getting pretty personal, but I think I think Charlotte's probably crossed the line a little bit, and I think it's going to cost her, and I think Tiffy's probably going to retain the title.
We'll go Don. Your thoughts on this match?
Got my favorite,
What,
my
Donnie?
girl wrestling here. This is hard for me.
Don, you have like
God.
7 girls, and unfortunately, none of them are your lovely wife.
True, but
Hey,
hey, I
where's
have
that
a
pic-
sign.
where's your
on it. I have
picture
a
at?
sign. I got a sign. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Down here somewhere.
Oh, gee.
Why isn't it on the wall, Don?
I don't know. It's like
Yeah,
here
why is it-
somewhere.
All right.
Anyway, there is a sign. I think you got to pay off again. I think Tiffy has to maintain some, going forward to show that she can defend a title. And I don't think you need her losing at this point. And Charlotte can put her over, and Charlotte will probably have another day where she's a champion, but not this time.
Bully,
My
what says you?
Oh man, I don't want to pick all these matches where there's title changes, but I hope Don's right. I love Tiffy time. I think she's great. I love how she fired back at Charlotte the other night. I just don't feel there's any interest with Charlotte anymore. I mean, she no offense. I mean, she just doesn't look healthy. She looks like she's 103 pounds soaking wet with all of her ring gear on. Like, she just doesn't look good. I think there's a disconnect there now with the fans and her. And it's no fault of hers. It's just with injury and being gone so often and all this different stuff. She didn't do herself any favors with these promos where Tiffany's really over with the fans, where they've transformed her from a heel to the adorable snotty baby face. So I don't know, man. I'll pick with my heart. I hope Tiffany retains.
Yeah, my big thing is you just can't have this. The biggest thing with this is I'm intrigued to see how much power Charlotte has in creative, because especially with things getting personal, I don't think she wants to lose to Tiffy. I think she wants the title and the reign, and it's WrestleMania, and she's a Flair, and she still thinks she's probably a bigger star than she is, and that's no offense. The same thing with that. I agree with you, Bully. Like, she doesn't look like the same Charlotte Flair, and it's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to get myself in trouble, but it's the same way it is with like maybe people that are on TV. Guys tend to get away with aging, if that makes any sense. I'm curious to see, because this is kind of the first time that
We really want to have a storybook ending, and Flair's okay with it. Stratton wins with a figure 4 or a figure 8, which I'm sure she's never tapped out to, ever.
I just don't know if
And that'd be
Charlotte's okay with. I
don't know either, but that'd be a hell of a finish to have her, like, remember, when Stone Cold has the crimson mask, and we're not going to get there, but she might be in it for like a minute or two and not going to give up and pass out, maybe.
Yeah.
I think you could see that type of dramatic ending, which would amp up the match.
Bully,
So we'll
you
see.
got something.
Yeah, is her next title win like a record breaker or something? Does she break the tie with her dad?
I think she already has the record for women, and she's not close to the men's one. Is she?
I think
No,
she's been
but there was
15.
something about her being on the cusp of a women's record, I think, and that's why I think she's going to guide her. So that
I'd like to see this thing end creatively. I don't know how, but I want this to be the match that we walk away and go, I love what they did there, and I didn't see that coming. I don't know what it is because I can't see it coming, but I would love to. Like, this night already seems a little too predictable. I'd love to see us walk away from this match going, okay, they got me there, they swerved me, and I loved the swerve, and it was great. So, main event time, guys, and this is the one that's going to get people talking, because it's Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, of course. Paul Heyman, a big deal in this. He is now in the corner of CM Punk. I have strong feelings on all three wrestlers. I'm going to start with I'm gonna start with Bully because I don't know how he feels about all this. So I have ideas how the other two Yahoos are thinking. So what happens in main event of night one, Saturday WrestleMania?
Let me get this off my chest, and I'll get there. I like all three of these guys in the ring. But what's the reason of a triple threat match if you're not having a stipulation? I'm excited for the match, but like they're not fighting for anything. You know, like storyline wise, it's just a triple threat to end the night. I don't know. As a WrestleMania main event, you would hope there's a little bit more on the line. But I think this is a career crossroads for all three of these guys. And this is where they meet is the end of night one, this mesh point. And, you know, you've had Roman come out and say, hey, when his contract's up, which is a couple more years, he's going to take a less active role. He's going to be done. You've got CM Punk, who finally lived his dream. He's main eventing a WrestleMania, which, by the way, Living Color is in Vegas, and they're going to play Punk to the ring. So that's going to be cool. And then you got Rollins.
Cool. Did not know that. Yeah.
Yep. And then you have, by hook, is involved with both of these guys. And at the end of the day, probably has more of a future in the business than both of them. I think it's so intriguing because, you know, Paul Heyman waits in the wings like like a blushing bride with all the attention he's getting. And it's good. He's great. I love just watch him at ringside on Saturday night and his face and stuff. He's great. Don't get me wrong. And I love his involvement. But I think we're going to see something that's going to shock people. Get us talking about WrestleMania. Get us pumped for night two. I think Rollins finds a way to win and also win the hand of Paul Heyman.
Yeah. We'll go Tommy next because I hate agreeing with. I'm going to get to my thoughts in a second, but damn it, Bully. But go ahead, Tommy, your thoughts. What happens here? No, hey, we're both brilliant. What can we say? We're both brilliant.
Well, yeah,
Tommy, your thoughts.
Just the fact that the main character in a three-way dance is the guy who's not even going to be in the ring. Paul Heyman's the story of this match. He just is. I mean, it's a battle for his affection in some ways. I think somehow Roman's going to win this, and I think Heyman's going to help him. I think Heyman's going to come back home, and they're going to leave together as they should. That's my thought. I think he's going to betray his best friend. I think he's going to get revenge on Rollins, and I think this is all built towards Roman winning this match.
Boy, I'd love to see that. I would be okay with it. Donnie?
I'd be fine with that.
Well, if you go by what Rollins says,
then by the way, Don, before I go, and then by the way, then Roman can go after Jay for the belt.
Okay, so I'll counterpoint.
I like that.
If you go by what Rollins said the other night, that this is about the future of the industry. So there's your, we don't have a belt, but he's made this point that like these three directions of the future of the company are polar opposites. Does Paul see that future in the long run being with Seth and not his other two, that this is his new prodigy to back because he sees that future of the industry? I think that we see Rollins and Jimmy Uso at SummerSlam, and that's where I see that leading as opposed to what you're saying. Will we get
Jay
there?
Uso.
Jay or Jimmy?
Or Jay Uso. Jay.
Okay.
Sorry. I see that as where this could possibly go, which would be a big time match as well. And then we see what Jay is really made of, in another big match. Will it happen? I don't know. Hell, somebody said to me today, what if Brock Lesnar showed up and that was Paul's, that's another one of his guys, if Dream, could you imagine the roof blowing off if his music actually hit. Just
Yeah.
for possibilities,
Crazy.
if that happened and he comes out like, that's my guy, now screw the rest of you couldn't support me. But if going with logic, I think that's where we go.
So who do you have winning?
I have Seth, and I think that he sees the future of the industry as Paul and him, and having a vision of where it's going to be for a while, and that's who he's going to be with.
All right,
But the other two guys have kind of shoved him aside.
I hope that Don and Nick are right. Because, and I'll say this, two of the three of my favorite guys in the industry are in this match. And I don't hate CM Punk until it comes around to Seth Rollins. Obviously, he's a Quad City guy. He's a Davenport guy. So I'm a fan. And I think he's right. I think CM Punk was a little prick and ran away for 9 years and complained and kept taking shots. And I think Seth was busting his ass off trying to carry an industry. I think it was what he's saying is correct. What annoyed me, and I'm a Cody guy now, and I liked him back in AEW when he was there. But I got annoyed when he came over and Seth had to put him over 3 times. Why does Seth have to put him? And then I got mad when CM Punk loses to CM Punk right away. So like that's when I don't like CM Punk, is when it's night and day, when it becomes Seth versus him. And I'm a Seth guy. And I know there's a lot of CM Punk guys out there. I love him on the microphone. I understand it. I get it. I'm warming to him. But when you have him against my guy, and then I love Norman Reigns. I love what he's doing. I'll say this. When it comes to putting this whole thing together recently, Seth is the MVP. I mean, he just is. Watch Raw. I mean, he's best on the mic. He's making the most sense. He's there all the time. So I like what Nick said. I really wish that there was a way, and he presented it. You know, where was your guy when he was getting put through a table? Where was your guy when he lost at WrestleMania and you left him with Solo Sikoa and that kind of stuff? Where were these people? And now Seth is saying, come with me. So I hope that happens. Here's my other thing. It's the main event of WrestleMania. Something is going to happen. Think of last year's main event on Sunday. They didn't just pull out one stop. They pulled out every single stop they could, except for getting Stone Cold to eventually come down instead of the Taker. But like so this isn't just going to end with, hey, this person, like who said Roman? Was it you, Tommy?
Yeah.
And I don't disagree, and I can see Roman winning, but I don't think it's a normal match, if that makes any sense.
Matt, here's how you do it. You look how Saturday is going to open, and after that match, it's going to be everybody yeeting and all over the place. Then you finish up night one, and everybody's going to have ones in the air as he leaves.
I'd be okay with it.
I'm fine with it.
There you go.
I'm fine with it.
I just think the storytelling and then the way they tied everything together is really good. You had Seth and Rollins, or Seth and CM Punk, and you understood that, and you had CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and then you have Rollins and Roman Reigns. They all have this feud, and they tied it together great. And how'd they tie it together? With the Wise Man. And they pulled everything together around this chubby, amazing character that does an awesome job each and every time. So I'm going to say Seth wins. I'd love to see Seth wins. I think when this was announced, I thought there was no way Seth would win, and that one of these guys are getting over and one of the bigger guys are going to get their way. I hope that what's best for business is Seth Rollins winning this, in my opinion. I'm intrigued to see how they go about doing it. So I'll go Seth. Don's on Seth. I think you're on Seth as well, Bully. And then, of course, you kissing up to Owen, probably watching this with the Tribal Chief stuff. I see what you're doing, Tommy. Go ahead, Don.
I will say this, Matt. If Seth doesn't win, and this goes back to, again, what I said earlier, he could still face Jay at SummerSlam if I'm hypothesizing, because what's the belt that he's always wanted to win that he think is the working belt? The one that Gunther and Jay are fighting for. That might lead to some point he wants to chase that belt again, because he's got to be a champion at some point. That might be the path he goes off to after he disappears for a little while. I don't know, but if Roman wins, he's got to have something to go do.
Don't we all agree that they should have put a stipulation with this would be a number one contenders match?
Thank you.
That's what they should
Thank
have
you.
put with this.
Something.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good point, Tommy. Yeah.
But I mean, what they're saying is this is for the direction of the company or the industry, which I get it, but it's not like they're all going to be fine. Any one of these guys win, and like the company's going to be fine. The industry's going to be great. It's not like they got it like this guy that's going to like, you can do that with Cena. Cena could retire with the belt if you want to go down that road and all that kind of stuff. But not in this one. Everything's going to be fine no matter what. Last one. Do we see The Rock tonight at all? Or do we wait till
On night
Sunday
one-
night?
on night one?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
I agree with Tommy. I don't see a logical place where
Save
he
him.
fits in night one.
Do we see anyone interfere with the main event besides Paul Heyman? Will there be appearances by anybody else? Remember last year, they were throwing the kitchen sink. It was every 2 minutes. It was somebody, and you got a pop.
That
do
was,
we do
that
that
was
at all?
the second night, though.
I understand.
That was the second night, though.
I don't know if there is. If there is interference, it's got to be Brock Lesnar. That's the only warranted interference I want to see. I think Don brought up Brock Lesnar coming out and playing his part in this, but hey, will Paul interfere?
And if he does, who's he helping? I mean, that's
Exactly.
what it all comes
He's
down
going
to.
to throw a chair.
Or
He's going to throw
who he helps,
a
or
chair in
who
the
he-
middle.
or who he means to help. His intention
Correct.
might go awry, and now all hell breaks loose.
See, this is
Yes.
why I'm mad that I'm bless my Catholic heart. I'm going to Easter Vigil Mass on Saturday, and this is the match that I want to see more than anyone else. I know that's debatable, and other people think differently, but I'm so intrigued with what happens here. Hey, we're going to hit a quick break. We got night number 2 to talk about as well. That's the beauty part of this whole thing is we're just halfway home, so we got more to get to. Don Umland, Tom Kakert, Nick Bull on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Quad City parents tired of the same old weekend routine? Well, listen up. Saturday night, April 26th, it's free youth jersey night with your Quad City Steamwheelers. The first 500 kids 12 and under score a free official Steamwheelers jersey just for showing up. That's right, free gear, big plays, and non-stop family fun. It's IFL football action and memories that'll last a lifetime. Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets and make it a night your kids won't forget. Presented by Crawford Company.
Please join us April 24th through May 3rd online for the 20th annual Chuck Long Charity Auction presented by Atlantic Bottling Company. This year's event features over 200 amazing items. The more bidders we have, the more money we'll raise for life-altering therapy for kids in need right here in the Quad Cities. So please bid high and bid often. Brought to you by these sponsors. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday in the Quad Cities. It's Good Friday. It's a very good Friday when it comes to the fact that we have Wrestlemania this weekend. Yes, it's Easter weekend. Excited about that, but it is Wrestlemania. We're joined by our expert panel, Tom Kakert, Nick Bull, and the one and only Don Umland. What are you wearing? What are you doing?
That's my Dynamite Diamond ring, baby.
What's wrong with you?
MJF.
You're talking about the wrong show.
Oh, that's on another show. We have to talk about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's next time.
The one that nobody watches.
Or goes to. God bless you. All right, so we got done with Saturday of WrestleMania, and like I mentioned before we started, it's a good thing. Can you imagine this being like the midway part of one day of wrestling? So great that they do 2 days. Sunday shapes up nicely. I'm going to start Sunday the way I started the other one. What match leads off WrestleMania Sunday? Tommy, I'll start with you. Do you have a thought process on who lead? We know it's Cody and Cena to end it. Who leads this thing off?
That's a great question, Matt. And I think it might be, because I think this match has a chance to be a good, fun match. And that's the Intercontinental match, the four-way between Braun, Penta, Finn, and Dom, because, Braun's going to do some crazy stuff. Penta's amazing in the ring, and Finn can do a lot. And by the way, I'm probably going to pick Dom to win that match. So anyway, that's my pick for the opener on night 2.
Bully, who opens the curtain on WrestleMania Sunday?
I think they're going to kick it off with a bang, and I think it's going to be the women's heavyweight title triple threat. This one's been built really well.
Yep.
I know a lot of people don't want EO there. Everybody wanted to see Bianca and Rhea, but these are the 3 top female wrestlers on the roster, in my opinion.
Yep.
If you look at the main roster, NXT's loaded. That's another story. But these 3 can go, and I think we may be on the cusp. I thought at WrestleMania 39 Night 1, Charlotte and Rhea was the best women's match I had ever seen, like on a stage like that. This might eclipse it because all 3 of these women can go, and I think, man, I think Bianca's going to walk out of this with the title. I really do. I think she's going to find a way to win, and we get full heel Bianca. Look out.
Donnie, wake up.
I'm with you.
What opens? What match opens? And then we'll kind of go through them all. But what match opens?
I think the women that haven't had from night 1 don't really have, Stratton and Flair could steal some things. But if you're going to give the women some exposure, kick off night 2. I agree with Bully. I think this match is built to go a while. I think they're all popular in their own ways because Io's she's been kind of pushed around. I think this could be a really terrific match, and I think Bully's spot on. That's night 1.
I would agree that's where they start. Give the ladies a prominent place, because if they don't have one on the first night, they got to have one on the second night. So Bully kind of talked about it, but who is like what happens in this match. And I'll say this before we get going. This is the depth of the roster. That's why you have triple threats and 4-way matches and all these kind of things, because there's so much talent on this roster. How could you leave Io Sky off of WrestleMania? If you don't put her someplace, what are you going to have her on SmackDown the night before? She's too talented. That's why the depth of this roster is the reason why there's so many, because that's not common at WrestleMania. WrestleMania likes to be one-on-one matches or tag team matches, and you're seeing a lot of different ones because of the depth, in my opinion. So, Don, what happens in this triple threat?
I think there's a remote possibility. I think Io walks out the champion, and then Rhea and Bianca have a battle to see who's going to get to face Io down the line, which could be we get that one-on-one later, but Io could snake out with the title. But I'm not saying Bully's wrong, but that's who I'm going with.
Okay, so you have Io, you have Bianca, Bully. Tommy, give it to Rhea. Let's let everybody have one.
No, I'm going to take Io. I think Io's going to win. I think it's set up for Io to win the way they've been framing this match. And I think you get full heel Bianca coming out of that, and she just goes on a just raging bender of anger, and frankly, Rhea doesn't need a belt. I mean, she's just such a big performer that she can live without the belt for a while, and maybe those two just kind of go at it for a little bit and chase Io and try to. I think this thing could maybe even rematch at SummerSlam. Get the three of them back in the ring together again. I think that might be interesting.
See, what you're saying and Don's saying already happened. Don, it already nobody expected Io to win to get the title in the first place on the Raw. So I think what you're saying already happened. And so they've forgotten about Io, and that's the kind of thing she gets cranky about. And I think that's what they're trying to set up, is what Tom's saying. But I think they gave her the title. She has it now. It's not like she's chasing it and is the forgotten person who doesn't have the title as a challenger. I agree with the Rhea stuff. I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan, but you can put her in anything and she's going to kill it. And Bianca, I want to see the heel turn. I want to see it happen. I think you see a full heel turn. I think you see Bianca win the championship at WrestleMania. So I'll go with Bully. Don, you as always have something to say. Your pen is up in the air.
It always does.
Because I think this could bounce back and forth. This could go back to night one where Naomi, who appears in that match. Maybe Jade or Naomi come out because it's a triple threat. So if we're going to have a full heel turn, well, who's coming with her? Jade? Naomi? Is that a evil force, kind of like the New Day has turned dark? I think you could have some involvement that could lead to it, that could tie those two matches together.
That is intriguing. I don't hate that at all. Is there any other person besides those two that could get involved in this match? I don't think there really is. There's nobody Rhea-wise. There's nobody Io-wise to really make a. I mean, if you're AEW, you just go ahead.
Maybe Jade gets her comeuppance a night later after losing to Naomi. She gets to come out and maybe chase her off, or maybe beat her down. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we see her, but that's kind of a reach.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't see Io winning. I don't know why. I understand what Tom's saying. It makes sense, but I just don't see that being I think we already paid that off on Raw a few weeks ago or a month ago. So, okay. So let's go. AJ Styles and Logan Paul. I've had somebody on here, I don't remember if it was Don or Tom. I think it was Tom, that doesn't care about this match at all. Is that true, Tommy?
Yeah, I think that was me. Yeah,
Does anybody else feel that way at all?
Logan.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this match. Go ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
Well, you are because you love AJ Styles, but I just. The quicker Logan Paul gets off my television, the better off my night it will be.
But he delivers at WrestleMania. He delivers good matches.
He'll have his goofballs with him. I Show Speed, or somebody will come out, or whoever.
Tom, you're showing your age. You're sounding like the old angry guy.
I'm gonna throw this out.
Go ahead, Bully.
Logan Paul's better in ring than Jey Uso.
I think he's really good.
Yeah,
in
probably.
Ring. I think he's really good in ring.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm intrigued by the match, because AJ is outstanding in the ring. I think it's going to be a really good match. I don't know if they've let it developed enough. I mean, I would have liked the storyline. It's a little AEW-ish, where they just kind of threw it together and it's going to happen.
Wow.
But hey,
Here
Don,
we go again.
The beautiful part is you're going to get a 5-star match, and so that's all you care about is you'll get your 5-star match at the end, because that's what they tell me about.
I think I'm gonna make a bold statement. I think this could steal. It's not everybody's gonna talk about the end, but I think it's gonna be a stealer. I think this match is gonna be really, really good. I really do.
I will promise you this: somebody will show up for Logan Paul that I'll have to turn to one of my teenagers and say, "Who the hell is that?" Because I don't know. Like ISO Speed, I didn't know. I didn't know who that was.
I didn't either.
None of us did.
But
well,
I did.
That's
because
how you get
my
the
son
young
told
kids
me.
in.
Yes. So I think that will happen. Okay, so let's pick this thing. AJ Styles just coming back. Is he getting a push? A guy that's going to be around and more relevant? Is Logan Paul, because he's Logan Paul, get a victory here? Let's go Donnie first.
I'll just say 2 words. Logan Paul wins the match. And I'm an AJ Styles fan, but I think you've got to put him over now that he's going to be committed to WWE. I think this is his big coming out party.
How is that 2 words? Logan Paul wins the match. It's 5
Logan
words.
Paul, and then I put the rest is in parentheses. So
okay. My favorite part of the show was that. That's going to go as, there's my social media clip, Tom. Like anger
I got
and genie in a
2
bottle.
words for you.
Yeah.
2 words.
Yeah. Okay. So, Bully, Logan Paul, really good in the ring. Who wins the match?
Man, I love AJ Styles too, but I'm going to go with what Don said. And Logan Paul has got to win one of these matches. He's been featured in a lot of these high-profile matches. He's got to win one of these. And I think this is going to spin off. I think AJ Styles losing will go into this feud with Karrion Kross. It's kind of been going on behind the scenes on Raw on Monday nights. So Logan Paul is definitely going to win this match. And then AJ Styles has got a little thing set up with Karrion Kross after Raw. So he doesn't really get hurt by losing this.
Before we go to Tom, I think Karrion Kross has been really good recently. And I'm intrigued to see what they can do with him. Oh, you rolled your eyes. You don't agree? Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Bully.
I love Karrion Kross. I don't think they've done the right thing with him. He's part of a WrestleMania show this weekend. It's an independent show, but it's called Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. They take the ropes off the ring. It's like Raw Underground or NXT Underground. You can only win by TKO or submission. He's a legit dude. Like they need. Like I've always felt like anytime you have a legit dude or a badass on your roster, treat him as such. There's always room for that on the roster, in my opinion. And he's a good guy behind the scenes. He's not a big egotistic guy. I'm talking about there's always room for the legit tough guy on the roster if I'm running things.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
I love the way on Raw the Monday night you could see the announcers giving him the rub. Like they recognize that he put the work in that match, and we're recognizing his talent. He just needs the storyline to get us reinvested in him because he could certainly go.
Tommy, you hate this match. Who wins it?
I hope Styles wins, and it's short.
See, I'll go Logan Paul. I agree with Bully once again, where he's got to have, and I think AJ Styles in the point of his career where he can work the match. It can be a great match. It's not going to hurt him. Nobody's going to go like, oh, I don't have any faith in AJ Styles anymore because he lost at WrestleMania. Like I think he's got an equity built up where he'll be fine either way. Don, did you change your shirt during the break?
I almost ran upstairs and did it, but I'm sticking with the HOF because Friday night's going to be a really good night for me.
It's going to be emotional.
So
You put a,
and
I'm getting off. I don't want to get too far off track, but you put a Facebook post up that was more heartfelt and nicer than you do on your anniversary. Do you know that?
Yes. Yes.
Don't,
Yes.
don't let your lovely wife watch this show. This one's not going to go over very well for you.
No,
Okay.
probably not.
Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, and it's like a street fight, I think. We've seen this before. Do we need to see it again? We'll go with Bully first.
You know, you talked about the triple threat match with the women. This is a way of getting two guys on the roster that are there week in and week out. They're both former, heavyweight champions. They fought last year at WrestleMania, if you remember. When Rollins was defeated by McIntyre, and then Priest came in, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
these guys are going to go out there like I debated between this and the women's matches. I would have this open the show personally. Two big dudes that don't like each other and just going to go out there and tear the place down. And it's WrestleMania, Vegas street fight. This is going to go out on the street. So I'm interested for all the side stuff that's going on in this match, more so than the match itself. But I see Drew McIntyre going over here. I think he has to.
Tommy, what says you?
I agree with Nick. I think it's Drew's, and I think he's gonna do it in a pretty decisive manner over Priest.
Don, you gonna make it unanimous?
I'm gonna make it a hat trick. I'm a huge Drew Mac. I mean, they're both great, but I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan because he's kind of become this CM Punkish way where like I'm going to speak the truth, and maybe you should listen to me, and you can kind of see the resonation of the crowd. Sometimes they're like, yeah, I can get behind what he's doing because he's not going to hold back, and I there's big things still left for Drew. He's a great big man, and he can go, and he'll be in some storylines for future. I think it's his night to win. He's not going to lose at Mania.
I think the spot of the night will happen in this match. And that's saying something because I think the four-way match is going to have some really good spots as well with some high-flying guys. But I think the spot or the moment when it comes to something cool, something crazy, might happen in this one. And I think Drew has to win one. You can't go do what he did and keep losing. And I know he did beat Punk once, but he ended up losing to Punk twice and losing the most important one, the last one. So, yeah, give me Drew on this one as well. I'll make it a unanimous one, but I think it's going to be good. I do. It's going to be a good match where it's not a gymnastics match, Ton, that you see in some places. I think it's going to be two big guys going at each other, and I think you're going to have some good stuff. So,
I think you are going to get a big spot in it, Matt. I think it's going to be really dramatic. What it is. I think you're right. So,
I agree. I think the match of the night that I don't care that much about is the women's tag title. Now, with that being said, I like all the wrestlers. It's not like I don't care or I'm emotional, but it just seems thrown together to me to have Lyra and Bailey just kind of thrown together. I think, and I'm also a little disappointed because I was looking forward to Alexa Bliss and Liv at WrestleMania. When Alexa came back at Royal Rumble, I thought maybe that's what we were working our way towards WrestleMania. So because I put the expectation there and that's not happening, anyways, I'm not overly excited about this match, and I want one of you guys to get me excited about it and to sell me on it. And Donnie, you're a good salesperson. Oh, Nick, you rose your hand. I like it. You must be intrigued by the match.
I think this match has to be close to the Intercontinental match because I think I'm going to go along with the reason why I'm picking Liv and Raquel is because what's going on in that four-way match. I think Liv and Raquel retain because I just feel Bailey and Valkyria just thrown. It's like, okay, you two, we need you to fight in this tag team turmoil thing and to determine a contender. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm leaning with Liv and Raquel, leaning towards Liv and Raquel, and I think they may play a part in the Intercontinental four-way match as well.
Tommy.
I will stick with Liv and Raquel, and I think it's going to be because Bailey and Lyra don't get along, and that sets up maybe a little program between those two, and or potentially some interference from Roxanne Perez, who will be coming up from NXT, perhaps to get in a program with Bailey or Lyra as well, trying to compete for that title on the main roster.
Don, give me the wisdom that you have.
I think Liv and Raquel win. I think there's something that then we'll talk about at the end of the show when we talk about things that could happen on Monday. But I think there's some Judgment Day things that are going to happen on Monday night. And I think these two matches tie together, the four-way and this, that connect to Monday night. So I agree.
I agree that nobody can convince me that, like Bully said, they threw together two wrestlers. One is a champion in her own right and said, okay, we need somebody to wrestle you guys at WrestleMania, so this is what we're going to go with. You can't tell me that that they're going to take the titles. It just doesn't. So with that being said, this match more than any match needs something. It needs some interference. It needs something to happen. Like Tom said, is it Roxanne Perez coming in and or the two of them turning on each other, or what? Something has to happen in this match extra for me to be sold on anything besides, Liv and Raquel moving on and winning. And the whole Judgment Day thing is going to be extremely interesting all the way throughout the weekend. And that goes through Monday as well. So I'll make it unanimous, but I'd like to see something with this match. I'm worried that I'm going to walk away on Sunday and say, this was the one I could have done without. And I do like everybody involved. It doesn't mesh for me. All right, we got two more left. The four-way for the championship. So many things can happen in this thing, and I like all four people. And who was it that foreshadowed a little Dom? Was that you, Tom?
That was me.
All right, so I want to let you start.
This was going to be the first one.
I want you to start.
I just think it makes sense. It makes sense for Dom to win because and he's probably going to take the pin away from Finn Balor just to make Finn go crazy and kind of break up the Judgment Day a little bit more. I think it just makes sense. And then, even if you want to take it another step, gets that belt off of Braun Breaker, and remember who took the belt off of Jay the last time he had a title was Braun Breaker. Maybe he gets involved with Jay if he wins that the World Championship.
I like it. All well thought out. Donnie, we'll go up to you.
Much as I hate to give credit where credit is due, I think Tommy is spot on. I think Dom needs his moment. I think the crowd loves to hate him. It'll be interesting to see if they get behind him, especially if he causes Finn to not win. We might see a little bit of turn on how they love or hate him, but either way, I think it's Dom's time to have a moment. And so, yeah, I think it happens.
Bully, make it unanimous.
Absolutely. This is Dom's time, and I think not only does he get his moment, but I think he's going to cost Finn or actually pin Finn, and then after Monday night, the Judgment Day as we know it is probably no more. I think that's kind of how it'll boil over. But I see Dom winning this. This is a great loss for Braun Breaker because I'll say the same thing when Sammy took the belt off Gunther last year at WrestleMania Night 1. The Intercontinental title. He's got bigger things to do. He's got bigger fish to fry. And I think Breaker is on that course as well. I mean, he's must watch when he's on. What's he going to do? How's he going to do a spear differently? He's a genetic freak. He's a Steiner. He's got that going for him. And he's really, I think he's really grown leaps and bounds in what he was in NXT. So bigger things for him. This is Dom's big moment. This is the straw that breaks the back for Finn and Judgment Day, and Penta's going to shine. Penta's going to do something big, and the crowd's going to go crazy. But it's going to be a fun match. You can't really book a wrong winner here, but I think we all agree it's Dom's time.
Bully, do you think
Breaker is Don? 1 second. Breaker is the next Roman Reigns, right? He's basically the next Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, I think, God, I'd love to see him and Gunther go at it. But and there's a draft coming up, so things really change coming up. We really don't know. They'll be great down the road. We could say that maybe, but we don't know where they're going to end up. But yeah, Braun's probably the next long-term guy to invest in after Cody, right? If you're looking for homegrown talent.
Well, yeah, I completely agree. Don, your stupid pen's in the air. What do you want?
When the pen's rolling, I got something spinning in my head. I was going to ask Bully or ask his opinion. I don't think the Judgment Day blows up on Monday night. I think they exile Finn, and that group stays together. Maybe Penta's a part of it. Maybe he's not. But I don't think they die. I think they're connected.
Okay.
And I think it's good because you don't want to lose. Those people individually don't resonate, but as a Judgment Day, they do.
Correct. Do we see JD McDonough return at Mania or the night after? He's supposed to be due back from when he punctured his lung.
Oh, that was awful too. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Awful.
I think on Monday night, if he doesn't come back at Mania, he comes back Monday night and they exile Finn.
I agree with everything you guys have said, and I think this is what's going to happen. But let me put this at you. Is there any way to get Dom to be a babyface? Nope. To win this and to have something happen where Liv comes in and turns on Dom and says, Dom, you remember when he tried to play nice with Rhea and get back in her good graces, and she's like, oh, we're fine, I love you, let's move on, and they left it alone. It'd be interesting to see if the WWE could take somebody who's so over as a heel and flip him pretty quick.
The only way they're going to flip Dom is if somebody is just beating the crap out of Ray, and then Dom comes over and saves his dad.
Yeah, probably.
That's how he turns.
There's a lot of layers to Dom and the heel that he's built, which is brilliant the way they done it. So I agree with that. Does Aleister Black fit in the Judgment Day in any way, shape, or form?
Maybe.
That would be my thought.
I'll tell you,
not that I think it would happen, but just an idea.
I hope he fits in because I like the guy. I like how he was in NXT. I like when he debuted over in AEW and then just kind of went away. Like, the guy's a guy. He respects the business. He loves it. He cares about it. He's got some legit toughness to him behind him. I think he's trained in some
Aleister Black.
Hey, that seems to happen a lot in AEW, doesn't it? Where guys just disappear over in AEW. Okay,
if we're going to sidebar here, now's the time to do it. Can I have the floor?
Absolutely.
Okay, why not?
Okay.
No, because he's going to talk about AEW and WrestleMania show.
No, I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we know we got one last match to talk about, but this is the time to sidebar. If you're going to pick somebody that's going to face Randy, who's going to face Orton, and I have a list of 3 or 4 guys that I think could be it, but I'd be curious to see if anybody else has. Who's made the list?
Go ahead, Don.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead,
you have
Don.
your list?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Here
Don.
are my potential people. Aleister Black could face Orton. Solo.
No. Probably.
This ISO Speed. Get out there. We need somebody because he's going to ask for an open challenge and just shred him.
Absolutely. It should be. It should be him, and he gets RKO'd to death.
Either we get a squash match and he does that, or solo, but I think Aleister Black would be a superb because I think Aleister could absorb the loss. There's some people that cannot afford to lose to Orton in a match, but I think ISO Speed would be really a great moment. Well, yeah, Rusev, because I said he can't come back and lose that opening match. So that's my list.
Bully's pen's in the air. Respect the pen. Bully,
I'm learning from the veteran here. When you want to talk, put your pen up.
Okay. No, Bully, I want to hear what you think of her potential. Go for it.
Does Nick Aldis play into this? I mean, the guy.
That's what everybody thinks.
NWA champion. He's in incredible shape.
But they didn't. They teased it, but I just maybe does he come out?
They have not. They have not put their authority figures in matches in a long time, and I don't think they really want to do that anymore.
I agree.
So what I've heard,
I'll throw out there. Here's
Okay.
one I'll throw. Here's one I'll throw out there for fun. Almost. Big Giant.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say. Anything that anybody think was just said doesn't do that much for me. There's nothing that was said here that I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Now, I've heard there's two ways to do it. One, he's coming out on SmackDown tonight and he's going to say, I want my person now. Let me know who it is. And I've also heard it's just an open challenge. So they could do something similar to, Seth Rollins down in Dallas didn't have anybody. Everybody knew it was going to be Cody, but he didn't have anybody. And then we found out it was Cody. But
It says he's having an open challenge.
Okay,
It
so
says
that
on
would be
Wikipedia he's having an open challenge.
that would be on Sunday or whatever day it is, Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
With that being said,
Sunday.
none of the God bless Rusev and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to see one of these big returns because how do you do it? There's two ways to do it. Either they get squashed and Orton wins, or they're Cody. And none of the people that you mentioned has the draw of Cody coming back to WWE and beating somebody of that stature. So it's just there's a disconnect where it doesn't connect for me one way or the other. The ISO speed stuff is whatever. My kids would pop. They'd think it'd be cool and everybody would laugh. They wouldn't do anything for me. So I'd rather see the surprises. I shouldn't say that because I do like a surprise at WrestleMania. Anyways, none of those, all I'll say is none of those really did it for me. Do you have a preference, Don?
Well, Bully, did you have anybody else on your list that you thought of?
He didn't make a list.
There was rumors.
But I know
He just made a list.
There's rumors of Jeff Cobb coming over from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I don't think they would debut him at WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
I think it's somebody in-house already, and I don't know. Hopefully, when we watch SmackDown tonight, if those are going to be watching SmackDown tonight, I plan on it because I want to see what furthers this. Who's his opponent going to be? I don't know. Would they do an open challenge at Mania, or would they want to name the opponent ahead of time?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious
the open
about.
challenge is intriguing because everybody's going to be like,
Who is it?
who's
going to come out?
You better pay it off.
Yeah.
You better pay it off
Get
with
the
somebody
payoff.
besides ISO Speed or whatever his name is. They
It's
better
gonna be-
pay that
It's
off.
going to be ISO Speed.
Yeah, and then I
It's going to
don't
be
care.
ISO Speed.
And then I'm going to go,
Fine.
this is stupid.
fine, Santino Marella.
See, no.
Yeah, that would be Santino would be great. I would love it.
Could you see, real quick before Don took over, because he
hold
always
on.
has to have control.
Okay. Bully's got to.
Hold on, I just want to. Could you see Aleister Black getting involved and costing, and he replaces Finn Balor in Judgment Day, and then you have a Finn Aleister Black feud, which would be a good feud in my opinion.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
now,
I'm for it. Sign me up.
Bully, you put your pen in the air. What's up?
If you want a WrestleMania moment, Joe Hendry.
No.
I said that the other day and somebody shot me down, but I think Joe Henry's
shot you down,
moment would
Don.
be.
He gets his pop.
I think it'd be
Orton
great.
takes him out.
Who wins?
Orton
No,
beats
you don't
him,
want to see
but
Orton
they have a
just
good match until he
you
finally.
don't want to see Orton just.
They'll have
You don't
a-
want to
they'll
see
have a good
Orton
match.
just
They'll
destroy
have a
him.
good match.
He doesn't have to destroy him, Tom. I mean, he can go, but finally he hits the RKO at some point. But he gets his moment because it's an open challenge. Nobody gives us. People care, but at least it doesn't hurt Joe if he gets a WrestleMania moment.
I've completely forgotten the fact that I'm doing.
This thing's going to be a 10-minute. This thing's going to be like a 30-second match. It's going to be ISO Speed comes down, takes an RKO, and then we're done.
He's kind of right because both of them are pretty filled up. I'll say this. I completely forgot that we're doing an episode of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. I feel like we're sitting in my basement talking wrestling, which is exactly the way I want it. This is perfect. All right. Well, it's that time. It's that main event time. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, a heel, not heel Camille, Tommy, but heel Cena. A heel Cena. I'm trying to think of a way before we just get into it. No, I guess we'll just get right into it. And we'll start with Don. What happens in the main event of Sunday at WrestleMania?
Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. They're going to sing that. You're going to hear that 'cause we're going to have an
You're the
international
best.
crowd.
Tom, he's the best, isn't he? Anything best. All right.
Let's
Go,
go, Don.
Tony.
All right. I think we have a new world champion. I think the belt comes off. I think the timing is right for him to get the number. And now we can do some other storylines with Cody. What that remains to be seen if he loses. But to this and Cena going out, because I think at the end of the day, Cena's retirement party is going to be against Randy Orton. It's going to legend killer him. When this gets to its end, that's my spoiler, not a prediction. But I think Cena wins. I think it's the right time for it. And I think the crowd is kind of invested in seeing that in their own way.
Bully, what says you?
You know, I like both these guys. I'm really interested in this match, you know, just watching it as a fan. I don't care who wins either way, but my line of thinking has got me telling me Cena's got to win or this heel turn was for naught. The past 3 months are for nothing. So with Cena winning, you set up, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off what Don said. Have you seen the poster for Backlash yet? It's in St. Louis.
Randy
Orton's featured on the poster. I think, you know, Randy Orton's going to win whatever match he has because I think he'll be taking on John Cena at Backlash.
Tommy? I have heard by the way, I had heard the Backlash thing. There's no reason we're not going down to St. Louis, but go ahead, Tommy. What do you think?
Take the show down there. Let's
Cena
go.
Wins. Cena wins, and it's for the simple reason that the Cena farewell tour is much more interesting if he's got the belt on, and he can go against Randy. He can go against Roman if he wants, or I think eventually it leads to him getting beat by CM Punk, kind of the full circle moment of their careers, where the high point for Punk was when he won in Chicago at was it SummerSlam? Can't remember what
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. That's right. And just think that's kind of where he'll hold on to it until Punk beats him.
Yeah, I hate making a prediction on the future when it is WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is WrestleMania. That's what you're building up towards. So but I agree with here's my thing. In order for Cena to break the record, which I fully believe he's going to do, he's got to do it sooner than later, because then you have to get the belt off of him. And I think it's a great storyline of the deadline. This is when I'm done, and I have the belt, and if you can't beat me till then, I'm leaving with the belt. I'm retiring with the belt and all that kind of stuff. I'll say this, though. I think you see The Rock in this. I think you have to. And one thing that's disappointing in my opinion, and I'm maybe in a minority, is I wanted to see a different heel than John Cena is portraying. It's not been bad. I don't dislike it, but I wanted to see Hollywood Cena. I wanted to see like different clothing, and I wanted to see that side of it. Maybe if Rocky gets back involved, he can develop that character a little bit more, or they go move down the road. But what happened at what was it where they made the heel turn? Which pay-per-view?
Elimination Chamber?
Elimination Chamber. What happened had everybody talking, and then nothing happened after that. Like Rocky, Cody was going to go with Rocky. Was he, wasn't he? He decided not to. Then all of a sudden, Cena makes the heel turn, and The Rock just disappears. Like, what happened with that? We never went anywhere with that. So I think you have to revisit that. I think Rocky gets involved somehow, but I think I'm unanimous. And then, you know what? Cody's been fine as a champion. He's been good as a champion, but everyone loved Cody when he was chasing. Put Cody back on the chase again. Who knows what it's for, where he's going, all that kind of stuff, but put him back on the chase again. Tom, you mentioned CM Punk taking it off of Cena eventually. I would love to see Cody take it off him eventually. Back full circle again.
I think Cody's going to take a little break. He's been he's been carrying the company for a good part of the last 2 years in a lot of ways.
But I think he loves that.
Wasn't around all. But I think he deserves a couple months off. You know,
Is there any
I
chance
could-
we get
it'd
a
be meaningful.
KO? Is there any chance we get a KO sighting?
I don't think
not
so.
wrestling.
No,
I know he's hurt.
I
but
think
that
he
doesn't
just
mean
had
he's-
surgery like within the last week and a half.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
So he's
it's like-
had the surgery.
Yeah,
Okay,
Don,
so-
dumb question.
Yeah, he's
Put your
out.
pen down. Jiminy Christmas. Way to ruin the
Oh,
whole
that was
show.
good.
This has been a fantastic
great.
show, and
Great
then
question.
you had to go ask a stupid question. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk Monday real fast because I'm not taking any more commercial breaks. We're going to wrap this baby up with a nice bow and get into the weekend. Monday, the Raw after WrestleMania is always great, and it's funny because it's almost like new beginnings happen, but also it's known for returns. Give me 2 returns. We'll go clockwise. We'll start with Don. Give me 2 returns that you see on WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania.
I can't wait for Monday because my guy returns. Rusev Day comes back.
He's been hurt for
Very
like 4
exciting.
years, hasn't he?
Well, he should be healthy by now.
Oh, he's
Hell,
been
yeah.
healthy? He just hasn't been
No, I
utilized
said-
by the company that sucks? Weird. Huh, why are they
Happy-
going bankrupt,
happy-
Tom? I don't get it.
I thought
Okay.
this was my time.
All right, go ahead. Rusev, what else?
Your time is up. My time is now.
I knew that was coming. I think we get a Rusev appearance. I already told you about the Judgment Day thing. I think happens.
I
We
said
get a
I
Jey
said
Uso
2.
celebration.
I said 2. You
Okay.
can't remember all of them.
Okay, Rusev
Don,
and then
quickly.
either Roxanne. Okay, Rusev and then either Roxanne or Trick Williams come up from NXT.
Okay.
One of the
That's
two.
3.
That's
All right,
my-
go ahead,
I
Buller.
know, but I packaged the NXT people.
All right.
Well, Don.
I think Rusev for sure. You bring him back, a guy with an interactive entrance and whatnot with that crowd. They'll be nuts for him. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to see him. And then I believe let's go with. I wanted to say Roxanne Perez because I think she's going to be coming up. I really do. Rusev and I don't know. I no one really strikes me off the top of my head that hasn't already been named.
Tommy.
Bully, do you think Trick Williams is coming up? Do you think Trick's coming up?
If I'm Trick Williams, I want to stay down on NXT.
Yep.
Here's why. See Mello Hayes. He's completely lost in the shuffle on SmackDown.
Yep.
Trick Williams is featured in a title match that I'm excited for. By the way, NXT is my favorite wrestling show during the week. Like, I really love it. I think they're doing a good thing on there. I know it's junior high acting class level, but that's the comedy in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's my favorite show of the week to watch. But I hope he doesn't get called up.
I would
I
agree.
hope he doesn't.
I agree.
I'm afraid he'll get lost.
Tommy.
Matt, can I retract and give you my second one? I'm sorry. I do have a second one besides Rusev, and
Yes,
I do want
go
to throw
on.
it out there.
Yes, go on.
I think Asuka returns. I think Asuka comes back.
Okay. Tommy, talk before Don has something more to
Oh.
say.
How about Becky Lynch?
That was my question. If nobody said it, I was going to ask it. Do we think Becky Lynch? Larry does. The alleged tribal chief of the Randazzo family, Larry, says that Becky's going to return.
He is.
My ass, he is.
He is tribal chief.
All right.
Who wears the Ulafala?
Becky and who?
Becky and
Rusev Day.
No. Well, I'm not going to say Rusev because you've already said it. I'm going to say, how about the Wyatt Six and Bliss?
I hope that does return eventually because, like, it just pops up for a little bit, then it goes away. There's no staying power with it, and they got to do something different. So
That's the crowd that the after WrestleMania crowd would be great with the Wyatt Six and Bliss.
Nope.
I agree.
They
would go wild.
I agree. So, well, fellas, I said I was going to do a short show today to get into the weekend, and there's no such thing as short when it comes to WrestleMania. Guys, enjoy it. We're going to do this again. It stinks that it's WrestleMania, and like you can't get together with the boys and watch it as much as you'd like to because of Easter, but maybe Backlash we'll get together. We'll do this again soon. I appreciate each of you guys joining us. And again, Bully does a podcast, a really good podcast. It's called Card Subject to Change. That's on Spotify, all the podcasting platforms you need to go.
Yes, sir. All the podcasting platforms, Card Subject to Change. We've been around for a couple years. Just bring wrestlers in, bring fans in. I think Matt Randazzo is going to have to make now kind of a home at home here.
Wow.
I'm in. I would love it. I am in. So
you should have Don on. Have Don on. He has lots of opinions.
Absolutely.
If you want to talk about AEW, if you want to talk about AEW, have Don on.
We'll talk about AEW because there's stuff I like about it, but there's a lot I don't like. I'll rip the Band-Aid off.
Don't say that to Don.
The ending of their last pay-per-view has completely sent me the other way.
Yeah, and that's my problem, Don, is that like I can be a impartial fan of wrestling and say that this is good and this is bad, and I do, and I say the few things they do is good. MJF is fantastic. There's a lot they do that's wrong, but we're not going to get. We are not AEWing this thing. This is not how we're ending it.
I should have just wore my Just Enjoy Wrestling T-shirt. Because there are things we can. I mean, it would have fit, but that's okay. That's for another day.
Guys, enjoy WrestleMania. We'll do this again here real soon. Have a happy Easter as well. Appreciate you guys for doing this.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Thank you.
That is Don Umland, Tom Kakert, and Nick Bull talking a little wrestling right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Everyone have a great Easter. We appreciate you guys watching. We thank all our guests throughout the week this week. If you missed any of the shows, if you got time over the weekend, go check out the week of shows. Coming up next week, looking to have Lexi Rodriguez on the show, a Sterling product from that did Nebraska volleyball. Recently won a huge award this past week. Also, Grace Buffelli will be joining us early next week as well. Pat Anger also on Thursday. We're going to be taking the show on the road to Oscar's Pub over in Bettendorf. So a lot to get to next week. Enjoy the Easter weekend. Enjoy the WrestleMania weekend. And as always, we want to thank our fine sponsors for allowing me to do this goofy little show each and every day. It's called Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We appreciate you guys. Have a great Easter. We'll see you guys back here next week.